What's good with it, my peoples? It's your boy, Mr. Mixer. And I wanted to switch it up a little bit. Today, I wanted to do something more, just talk about my young producer life, so I can help a few producers out if you're coming up, being a young producer with the energy, man. Let's talk about it, man. First off, let's actually start with my beginnings. Mr. Mixer. I started out as an artist. My first artist name was Lil C, Lilc, okay? So this was back when I was young, so I was probably like 15, 16, when I started the name Lil C as an artist, and I started getting in the booth. I started going uptown. Shout out to NTB. I started going up there with my sis, and a lot of people don't know my sis is Tiffany, so yeah. She's actually a lot of inspiration on probably behind a lot of the engineering side, I'm gonna say it like that. She don't even know this, but I used to watch her dub tapes and sing and dub the cassettes, and then I started learning how to do it, and it was crazy, you know what I'm saying? And I really started getting into the world of wanting to edit things and make it sound good. That's kind of really the start of my producing right there, the cassette tapes. So I'm a drummer, grew up in church, very religious growing up. In church every week, sometimes all week, sometimes all weekend, late at night, late in the 1 a.m., 2 a.m. I don't know why we was in church so long, but we was in church. So I was always playing the drums, and we was always traveling. We was always in choir practice, and we was always going to the studio in Bryan, Arkansas. So I've always seen the producing side of life, So I think that's kind of where I come from, because that's really all I took in when I was growing up. Because a lot of that other stuff, I just was like, nah, that ain't me, So that's a little bit on that, as far as me, yeah. So drums, I can kill some drums. I used to play with my mom a lot. Rest in peace, Mom. But yeah, it was pretty fun. My mom was a big inspiration on my drumming. But when she passed, that kind of changed a little bit, But I played the drums since I was 11 years old. So between 11 and 12, I'm going to say it like that. So yeah, that's where the beats come in play. So, hey, I'm a drummer. I played trumpet, I played French horn in band. I was in band for 3 years in middle school. In high school, I didn't really do the band thing because I switched schools, and I didn't want to be in that band. I didn't feel nobody at that school, so I just was like, man, I'm just gonna start learning how to edit. You know what I'm saying? So my first editing program was Cool Edit Pro. Okay, so, hey, I was just like, it was blue. It was real blue, and it was weird looking at first. Yeah, so Cool Edit Pro, I started recording myself, actually, I had a laptop. Now, this laptop, I didn't have no mic at first, so I was recording this little mic hole. It was a little bitty thing in there, and I just put my mouth on it almost. And it got the job done for then. And then I got a karaoke mic from Radio Shack. It cost like $20. And I recorded my first album on that microphone. I didn't know anything about compression, EQ. I just knew I wanted it to sound good, so I had to record it good. So that was a challenge, and if that album is on all platforms right now. So it came out in 2009, So yeah, you just have to, it's a little outdated now, but yeah, it's still hard. And for that time when it came out, it sounded pretty good too. So, hey, that's my first album on my Radio Shack mic, my first mic ever. And then after that, my mom's bought me a Behringer Seed 214, I believe it was. And it was a decent mic, but it wasn't all that. But it got the job started, and it got my juices flowing, and I started learning about interfaces and plugins and FL Studio and everything, you know. My first introduction to FL Studio was by a guy named Jackie, my homie back in the day, you know what I'm saying? We don't really speak now, but man, he actually showed me the ropes on FL, you know, so appreciate you for that, bro. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I'm just kind of going in. But yeah, these are all the starts of me as a music producer. You know what I'm saying? We used to have a piano in our house, and I just used to just go play little chords on it just to play, you know. My dad had a Technique keyboard. I used to try to make beats on there. I wasn't really that good at keyboard beats because I came from the era when it was starting to be digital, okay? When FL was being popular, that's when I was coming up, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. I couldn't do the keyboard beats. That was crazy. But yeah, now I want to get into more like, okay, so I had fun coming up doing music, but then I started getting more, like I've always had a job. So I've worked since I was 11 years old with my family business, Jim Dandy Janitorial. We clean commercial businesses, houses. We cleaned a lot of places. When I was coming up, that's what I did from 11 until I was like 20, 22. You know what I'm saying? So I worked there for over 10 years, starting when I was 11. And I think that kind of got me in a mindset of, okay, I'm making money, now I can invest into what I want. You know what I'm saying? So once I reached a certain age, I mean, I helped out my moms a lot with bills, but I had to invest into my music, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna say this, because before I started investing, my pops, he actually bought my first FL Studio. It was $100. Back then, the producer edition didn't really do much because I tried to save a lot and I couldn't save, so it was like you had to invest more. So it was a good start, but I ended up reinvesting, you know what I'm saying, rebuying, because I lost all that information. Lost the email, lost everything. It was bad business. You know what I'm saying? So it was bad. So yeah, but investments, failures always make you stronger, okay? So don't be scared to fail. Don't be scared to try stuff, because, man, without that, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. You know what I'm saying? So as a music producer nowadays, I would tell a young producer to keep a job, keep some money flow. Don't just depend on the hustle of the music, because it will get dry, you know. My last job before I took on this full-time was, well, not my last job, my last full-time job, I'm gonna say it like that. Sentinel Record, I worked there for 4 years, and then I got let off, okay? So once I got let out, like, they was like, everybody gone. And then I got fired at the end of it. It was crazy. Didn't even get my severance check, and it made me mad enough to start my own business and to grind for little or nothing, doing everything I could, wearing everybody's hat. I'm talking about mixing beats. I was throwing shows. I was burning CDs. I was, making graphics, sitting up for hours making one graphic right with the artist behind me. I'm grinding for little or nothing, like a one-stop shop pretty much, you know what I'm saying? And that's really the grind you have to have in the beginning to get the momentum as an older producer to where you can just kind of like, you know, do this full time. You got it coming in. You ain't got to worry about it. You make your own schedule. You do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? You live your life. You know, it's about balance. So that's what you really have to do as a music producer, you know, to make it in this thing, man, because you got to keep some money flow. You got to make sure you got about 5 different little incomes as a music producer if you don't have a job, okay? So I'm saying, like, you got to have beats. You got to be, I ain't going to say beats. Like, you got to have online beats. You got to have custom beats. Those are 2 different lanes, you know what I'm saying? You got to have mixing. You got to record. You got to do graphics. Right now, I'm doing a green screen room where I can do photos and videos. You know, I'm doing music videos on the side. You got to learn. And that's why I've been helping out so much on my page, because I know, man, I didn't know this stuff when I was coming up. So if I can help anybody, I mean, that would make anybody's life better, you know. I know a lot of the stuff you gotta pay for, but I don't feel like you should have to pay for certain things if it's that simple. You know, it's just information, and it's up to you to apply, you know, that skill set. So, and consistency wins every time, you know. But at the end of the day, being a music producer, I feel like if you're a true musician and you really love music, you can really make it off of your music. I've been making it off of my music for years now. Every day ain't a plus, you know what I'm saying? But every day is a new opportunity, and it's a new, unexpected opportunity in there too. You just never know what the unexpected opportunity is, and you gotta stay being consistent and working. And it's not, you don't work for the money, you work for the love. You work for helping people out, and the money comes with it, you know. I did used to work for the money when I first started, but it was more like I was not making much of nothing to really even say I made it, you know. And the time I spent doing it, you know, it didn't really add up. But over time, after failure, after failure, after failure, after failure, I'm telling you, I learned how to maneuver and to be in this game, and how to, just move different, you know, make bigger goals. I got a bigger studio now. I was in a little hole, you know what I'm saying? It was just as big as this room, and that was it. The booth, everything. So I feel like you just gotta start at a small pace, but think bigger than where you are, okay? So as a young producer, I hope I can, you know, pitch some advice, you know, that way. And all this is just off the top. I didn't really have a video planned this morning, and I was like, let me just give some game, you know what I'm saying, to these younger producers and tell them how I came up. So 2015 is when I started, like, my LLC, you know, so pretty much the business side of things, how it's really supposed to run and things. So that's really when I started being serious, and started really getting in some legal, you know, really investing into me, you know, into my business, okay? So it builds up, though. You don't want to just start out and you don't have no clients and you just got a business, then what are you going to do, you know? You just wasted money for no reason. I've actually seen that a few times. I know a few partners that had these LLCs, and they got them, but they not doing nothing with it. They not rapping, they not doing music with it. That's what it's for, and that's what it's established as. But it's like, you gotta be, you know, on your business side too. So think about it, but make sure you got enough clientele before you just jump into that, you know. You gotta run the field a little bit, you know, so just keep running into it. Stay busy. Be great. I'm out this thing. It's your boy, Mr. Mixer. Like or dislike the video. Like or dislike. Okay? All right. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, though. I might come back with some more advice videos. I don't know what I'm going to call them, but right now we're just going to name them and title them. So, hey, let's get it. It's your boy, Mr. Mixer. I'm out this thing.